shooting from an undisclosed location today, which will factor into this week's challenge, so take a good look at what's around us.
So Anna Grace, what happened this past Sunday in youth?
We read 1 Kings 19, 11 through 13. The Lord said, "Go out and stand at the mountain before the Lord. The Lord is passing by." A very strong wind tore through the mountains and broke apart the stones before the Lord. But the Lord wasn't in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake. But the Lord wasn't in the earthquake. After the earthquake, there was a fire. But the Lord wasn't in the fire. After the fire, there was a sound, thin, quiet. When Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in his coat. He went out and stood at the cave's entrance. A voice came to him and said, "Why are you here, Elijah?" Some questions we asked were, has fear ever prevented you from doing what God's wanted you to do? Can you think of a time God spoke to you in an unexpected way?
And after brainstorming a variety of ways that God revealed himself to us in the Bible, we asked, in what ways do we hear the voice of God today? Anna Grace, what were some examples, what are some things that came out of discussion this week?
Well, my group came up with fear has stopped us from doing a lot of things. We're just afraid of how the outcome might turn out. So we end up stopping ourselves before we actually do what God has called us to do.
Yeah, and I know with the guys we talked about how God has revealed himself to us in the fire, at the burning bush, and he revealed himself to Noah before the flood. Speaking from the heavens, he revealed himself. We even talked about how God revealed himself as the Holy Spirit when Jesus saw the dove descending on him. There's a lot of different ways God has revealed himself to us. But what's awesome about this passage is that it shows, let's put this graphic back up one more time. The Lord, it's just really cool. The Lord, in this case, was not in the fire, not in the earthquake, and not in the wind, but there was a still small voice, and that's when Elijah knew that it was the Lord. And then our boys, the guys I had in my group, they even mentioned, and I think this is a really good point for everybody, that we have the Bible so nowadays, the way that God relates to us, he can do all these things, but we have his very word at our fingertips, and we need to take that seriously. All right, so game time! All right, yeah, okay, so you may be wondering why we are in a plain spot and giving you no indication as to where we are. That's because this week's game is called Find the Shamrock. I just made that up on the spot. I didn't really know what the game name was going to be yet. But hey, you know what? But the thing is, we're going to take this nice little shamrock right here with a mystery prize written on the back. I'm not turning it around so you can zoom and find out what the mystery prize is. But you find this room and find the shamrock anytime on Sunday to win. See if I have to edit that out and try to get on there. There we go. Okay. Anytime Sunday during youth, the first person to find it is going to win. You'll find out what it is on the back. So that is really close to my head. Did not plan it out that way. So I think, or is that part? Okay, good. Anyway, so now we're going to do a new brief thing called errors and omissions.
We're going to call out Harrison for a few things he's missed this past week. First up, the cup draw game. We needed to have 2 winners because it was 2 months worth of entries, but you only chose 1.
That's right. So I didn't think about that the other day, that it wasn't supposed to just be 1 cup full of names. It was actually the ones from November and December. So we're going to pull out another name here. Now this is a one-take thing. I promise I'm not editing this out. So unless it's you, because I don't think it'd be fair for Andrew to win. So let's see. Finley Miller, how about that?
Woo!
All right, Finley, you are going to win a $10 iTunes gift card to go along with Avery's from the last video. Awesome. So Finley, you win. I feel like we're way away from this camera. Other things I missed in announcements this week?
That's all that we missed from this week, but if we missed anything else, go ahead and contact one of us and let us know, especially if it's funny and it could be featured in the video.
Awesome. All right, so last thing I want to bring up is that if you did the table talk games, if you ever do those and talk with your friends, you never know when you might be featured on a video, because there were some really awesome examples from the which words can be misspelled backwards. Do you know of any off the top of your head?
I could just think of my name, Anna, is one.
She should know one, right? Race car is one.
Yeah.
I found some other interesting ones. check these out. It says all they wrote was nitrogen at the top. So I don't know if their code name is now nitrogen or they're trying to be nicknamed nitrogen from now on. But whoever wrote this, let me know because these are really good. Okay, so last thing, there's some announcements.
Bridge Leadership Team. If you see any youth on Sunday with these teal badges, feel free to come up and ask us questions. And we have open spots for next year if you want to be on the leadership team if you're in high school or 8th grade that you can talk to Harrison about.
Yeah.
Remember, the website is oakridgeumc.org/youth. Keep up with us there and check out next week's video for another Ridge Rundown and newly released dates.
Peace.